Imagine waking up in the heart of your homeland, thousands of kilometres from the front lines, only to watch your most expensive, heavily guarded bombers explode on the tarmac. Not from missiles, not from sabotage, but from cheap, handmade drones launched from inside your own country. That's exactly what happened during Operation Spiderweb. This wasn't just a drone attack. This was a strategic masterpiece executed by Ukraine's security service, the SBU, and it might just be one of the most effective, deep penetration operations we've seen in decades. On the 1st of June 2025, the Security Service of Ukraine executed Operation Spiderweb, a deeply covert strike designed to hit Russia in the one place it believed it was untouchable, its own backyard. The operation wasn't just a quick strike, it was 18 months in the making. Ukrainian intelligence operatives methodically smuggled 117 FPV drones across the border, concealing them inside wooden crates that were transported by civilian trucks. These trucks infiltrated deep into Russian territory, some as far as the east of Serbia. Once in position near 5 high-value strategic airbases, Belaya, Diaghilevo, Ivanovo-Sevene, Ilenia and Ukrainia, the drones were quietly staged, prepped and then launched remotely in near simultaneous attack. This was no random hit. These were coordinated strikes targeting the very heart of Russia's long-range aviation capabilities. Tactics and execution. The brilliance of Operation Spiderweb wasn't in brute force. It was in how surgically and silently it was executed. This was a lesson in stealth, deception and patience. Here's how they did it. The Trojan horse on wheels. First-person view FPV drones were hidden inside wooden crates, then loaded onto civilian trucks that crossed into Russia undetected. These weren't military vehicles. These were everyday haulers, blending in with the noise of Russia's internal logistics. The long game, high stakes. The SBU didn't just roll in and launch. This was an 18-month infiltration plan, slowly positioning equipment, assets and operatives without triggering alarms. The Oza drone, the Wasp. These drones are cheap, agile and deadly. Each costs around £4,000 and they can carry approximately 3.3 kilos of explosives, cruise at nearly 95 miles an hour and operate with pinpoint accuracy. Unlike kamikaze drones from afar, these launch from just miles away from the targets, evading radar and air defense entirely. They even believe that they hacked into the Russian 4G network. Remote multi-base assault. The aim was to attack 5 air bases almost simultaneously, using encrypted comms and precise flight paths to confuse and overwhelm the Russian response teams. There was no warning, no scramble time, just drones in the air and then fire on the ground. You even had civilians trying to stop the drones from coming out of the trucks. And here's the cold truth. Russia never saw it coming, not because they lacked radar, but because the threat was already inside. Battle damage assessment then, the BDA. When the smoke cleared, the damage was nothing short of catastrophic. The Ukrainian SBU claims 41 aircraft here, including strategic bombers and airborne early warning planes. 2 A-50Us aircraft were destroyed, each worth hundreds of millions and crucial to the battlefield for surveillance and air command. These are the Russian versions of the AWACS. US intelligence offers a slightly more conservative estimate of a roughly 20 aircraft hit with at least 10 completely destroyed. Still hundreds of millions of pounds. Either way, this was the single most destructive day for Russia's air force since the war began. The bill estimated over $7 billion in aircraft losses alone, not including hangars, fuel, spares, repair and infrastructure that was also hit. And here's how desperate it got. Before the strike, Russian crews were seen placing car tyres on their own aircraft, hoping they'd absorb drone blasts or confuse thermal imaging, but it didn't work. The psychological strike. Now we're getting to the part that most people overlook, but it's arguably the most devastating. The psychological effect this has on Russia. This wasn't just about destruction. This was psychological warfare, and it has hit hard, from within and not beyond. The most alarming part of Operation Spider is that it happened inside Russia. The SBU infiltrated Russian logistic networks, staged drones on Russian soil and launched attacks with no external footprint. That means Russia's internal security, military and civilian, was compromised. The fear of the unknown. If you're a Russian airbase commander today, you are not asking if Ukraine will strike again. You are asking where the next set of trucks are parked. That sort of mental pressure corrodes morale and breeds paranoia. Doubt in the ranks. How did this happen? Who let it in? Was someone bright? Infiltrated? Suddenly you're not just looking for enemy drones, you're questioning your own people. The SBU didn't just destroy the aircraft, they planted seeds of distrust. Air superiority shattered. Russia's sense of air dominance, already fragile, was decimated. Losing Tu-95s, Tu-22s and especially an A-50U, the AWACS platform cuts the legs out from under Russia's strategic doctrine. You can't command the skies when your command aircraft are burning. Civilian panic and propaganda chaos. With footage leaking of explosion hundreds of miles inland, the Russian public is no longer convinced the war is distant. The mental line between the front and home has been erased. This wasn't just a drone swarm, it was precision mental assault, and the aftershocks will be felt in every Russian command room. And while the fires burned on Russian tarmac, the world watched very closely. Why this matters globally? The military doctrine has been rewritten. We are officially in a new era, where drones can neutralise a £100 million aircraft. Western nations are now scrambling to review base security, drone countermeasures and internal defence protocols. Asymmetry wins again. Ukraine just proved that cleverness, patience and precision can trump brute strength. This is a blueprint for underdog nations staring down giants. Russia's retaliation. Putin has already vowed a response. But how and where is the big question. Will it be cyber? Will it be another missile campaign? Or something unconventional? Either way, escalation is on the table. And Spiderweb just became one of the most defining moments of this conflict. And because the SBU weren't done showing off, they also pulled for a massive cyber operation at the same time. Ukraine's military intelligence agency reportedly to Polev, Russia's legendary aircraft design bureau, downloading over 4.4 gigabytes of classified material. We're talking internal blueprints, project plans, email chains, supply contracts, you name it. So to recap, they burn the bombers, they download the designs, textbook 21st century warfare. Operation Spiderweb wasn't just a success, it was a statement. It told Russia, we can reach you anywhere. It told the world, this is what modern warfare looks like. And it told every commander watching, never underestimate the power of patience, intelligence, and a drone that costs less than your staff car. The security service of Ukraine showed us how a force with fewer jets, less funding, zero fear can land a strategic punch right in the heart of a superpower. And if that doesn't change how militaries around the world think, it should. If you want more deep dives like this, military tactics, battlefield breakdowns and brutal truth from the front lines, hit that subscribe button, turn notifications bell on and drop your thoughts in the comments. And as always, never be beaten. See you soon.